Okay, we'll begin. Hari Om to all of you. I wholeheartedly welcome each one of you who have joined us in this session. So let us begin with an invocation prayer. This is a beautiful and special invocation prayer. Here our children have beautifully depicted this bhajan through actions. So sit back and enjoy. Very well-known famous bhajan with actions.
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं मेरे शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं मेरे शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं कौन कहते हैं भगवान खेलते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान खेलते नहीं बाल बालों के जैसे खिलाते नहीं बाल बालों के जैसे खिलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्णदामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभं रामनारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
There was a slight lagging between the actions and the song. This song is already uploaded on our CIRS YouTube channel. So you can click and enjoy. That will be very nice. Now, at the same time, I also welcome again all of you. In December 2022, we had started this knowledge sharing session. And every month we have been having. And today we are on 17th session. So it's continuously going on, and parents and we all are benefiting through this session. And today we have special person addressing all of you. I don't think Swamiji needs any introduction. All of you might have seen him. All of you might have met him. All of you might have even heard him. So I don't think I need to give any introduction. Swamiji is our resident director, encouraging each and every student and the staff at CRS. So I don't want to miss out any time of you and Swamiji. So over to Swamiji Bhaiya. Please, you can start.
So, Hari Om and pranams to all of you who've taken out your time to attend this beautiful meeting. So, welcome to all of you. And it's nice to have all of you present for this knowledge sharing session. So, all of us know that last month we had a session by our Shanti Krishnamurthy ji. So, she spoke on Gurudev's life. And today we are going to speak on the theme that we have taken for this particular year. So before I continue, there is a very simple PPT which I have made, and we will see that for now. So let me share the screen with all of you. So if you can see the screen, then please let me know that you can see the screen.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Perfect. So that's good. So what we do in CRS is that we pick up a theme for the whole year. So Swami Swarupanand, who is the head of Chinmaya Mission, who is the chairman of CIRS, gives us this theme. So this being the 108th year of Puja Gurudev's birth, Swami Chinmayanand was born in 1916, and now it's 2024. It's the 108th birth year of Puja Gurudev. So being in line with that, Swamiji has given us the theme, living the vision of the visionary. So who is a visionary is the first question, and what is a vision is the second question. So let's take up what is a vision. See, in every company, we've got two posts. So one post is called the director, and the other post is called the manager. So what does a manager do? The manager just maintains the system, checks the system, and maintains things as it goes. That's what a manager does. But a director is a visionary. So the director takes the company or takes the institution in a particular direction. And to take that institution to a particular direction, that person has to be a visionary. So the visionary is one who can see further, who can see farther than anybody else in an organization or in a society. And that comes out of very, very sharp intelligence, and that comes out of a great depth in thinking. It's not that everybody can be a visionary in the society, not everybody is a visionary in the society also. Be it in the field of business or be it in the field of social work, be it in the field of taking the world forward. So few people are great visionaries. And among those great visionaries, few people are endowed with the nobility to have great visions. And those people in one sweep of society, they know what the society is lacking and they know what the society needs to take up in their lives, so that the society is guided to a nobler position, is guided to a nobler path. So one such great visionary of our times, we are very, very lucky to have lived in a time when Swami Chinmayanand lived. That was Swami Chinmayanand, and he gave the Bhagavad Gita's vision to the whole world by teaching the Bhagavad Gita verse by verse to millions of people across the world. For 43 years, Swamiji spoke on the Bhagavad Gita non-stop somewhere in the world. So it is the vision of this great visionary that we have taken up as a theme for this year. So every month we take up one aspect of the vision, and then we work with the children, we work in terms of this particular vision. to manifest it for all of us at CRS. So to understand Gurudev, we need to understand the vision. So the way we have presented the vision is to present the values which the vision conveys, and through those values, the vision can be manifested. So in order to have the right vision, first, what is most important is right thinking. So if you see the design, these are the posters for each month, which our students and Brahmacharya Sanathanji have made. And you will see all of these posters through a lens. Sometimes the lens of the camera, sometimes the lens of a magnifying lens. Sometimes you will see that it is the camera of a cell phone, but it is all through the lens to represent that it is a vision. So how is that we can develop a noble vision? Just as a lamp is lit by another lamp only, so too our vision can be lit up when we get in touch with the vision of great people. So that in spirituality is called satsang, and that in our regular life is to be touched by the thoughts of great people. So the more we are in touch with the thoughts of great people, with the thoughts of noble people, greater is the expansion of vision that all of us can have. So in order to have the right vision, the first thing that we need to have is right thinking. So these are quotes that Pujya Gurudev has mentioned, and we have taken those quotes connected to that particular value. So we inspire our students, we inspire ourselves through right thinking. So Gurudev says, intelligent man alone is given the freedom for rebuilding his future. A true seeker is he who is constantly asserting day by day, hour by hour, this privilege. Just look at how a common person lives his life. There are some people in life who are pushed hither and thither by the society. There are some who follow the direction of the society, and therefore they run according to the whims and fancies of the society. But there are few people who stand apart and who start thinking as to where is this society heading to, who stand apart and independently analyze what are we going to be in a few days, in a few months, in a few years from now. And that is the privilege which a human being, and only a human being, is blessed with. So such intelligent people who assert their ability to think, such people are the people who can become visionaries for life. They are not caught by the busyness of life. They are not victims of the helter-skelter running which people do, but they take time to observe, they take time to think, and they take time to analyze the consequences of the direction which the society is taking. So we inspire ourselves by right thinking. So therefore, one habit we can develop every day is to sit and think for a little time. Many times it is said that people are afraid to think because the consequences of thinking are very dire, are very big. Because that will ask us to make a lot of changes in our life. So, there are some people who say, please tell me what to do. Please don't ask me to think, because that's very, very difficult. So thus, to spend a little time in thinking, not just about the work we are doing, but the impact of the work we are doing. To think about life as such, that will inspire us to develop a vision. So what is a great vision? What is a noble vision? See, the vision can be very, very narrow, or the vision can be all expansive or all inclusive. Generally, a common person can live only for themselves. Probably a little more expanded, they can live for their family. But they are not appreciated, they are not congratulated, they are not respected if they live for themselves or if they live only for their family. This is not, that's a common person. But it is by thinking when the person expands their vision to go beyond even their family, to look at humanity as such. And there are many who have encompassed and who have included the entire world, entire creation into their vision. And such people who have become so large hearted, who have been able to feel where the entire society is going, where humanity is headed to, such people are called noble people. And it is by such thinking that they develop great vision. In fact, Pujya Gurudev, after his meditation and study under Swami Tapovan Maharaj in the Himalayas, he was one day sitting on the banks of Mother Ganga and he was thinking, what is the purpose of my life? So it is said, Swamiji mentions in his biography that he heard the voice of Mother Ganga. As if Mother Ganga was telling to him, oh Chinmaya, look at me, I am born in the Himalayas, so pure, and yet I do not reside in these Himalayas in expressing glory, but I go down to the plains and I serve the people down into the plains with the freshness of my water, even though I get dirtied and I get polluted. What is the purpose of my purity? What is the purpose of my waters if it does not serve the people of the plains? And hence I go down. So to Chinmaya, the glory of anything that you possess, and please pay attention to what is being said. The glory of anything that you possess is in sharing it with others. If others do not benefit from what we have, if others do not celebrate and appreciate and grow from what we have, what is the purpose in what we have? It serves no purpose. It serves no noble purpose. And it is with that thought and that vision that Pujya Gurudev decided he will not stay in the comfort of the Himalayas, but he will come down to the plains, work among the people, and inspire the people to have great vision for our nation, great vision for our culture, and live a great and a noble life. So, in order to live this great vision, what is required is conviction. So, the second value that we talk about is conviction. See, there is a difference between conviction and appreciation. Many times we appreciate so many things in our life, however, we don't live it. And why is that so? Because we are not convinced that that alone is the way to live it. I always give the example of doing exercise. All of us appreciate the idea that exercise should be done. All of us appreciate. In fact, when we meet people who exercise every day, we appreciate them also. But then when we are asked, do you exercise? So then the answer comes, oh, sometimes I get busy, sometimes I'm doing this, sometimes I'm doing that. It only shows that our conviction in exercise is a little weak. So what is the sign of our conviction? Our own life is a sign of our conviction. Have we not seen there are some people who are never late to a program? Never late to a program. Whatever happens, in fact, Pujya Gurudev was like that. Why? Because their conviction is to be on time and they're amazing at that. While others whose convictions are weak struggle in doing that. So, second thing that a great visionary will have is the power of conviction. So Gurudev says the quality of thought is ordered by the nature of our inner belief and faith. If the convictions are true and noble, Buddha-like, then service to man springs forth, bringing blessings of compassion and friendship, love and peace to all. Swami Vivekananda said, take one idea and make that your life. Greatness will manifest from it. So to Puja Gurudev is saying, if our convictions are true and noble, then that will serve the society, bringing happiness, friendship, compassion, love and peace to all. In fact, Swami Chinmayananda used to take very, very big projects. And the people around Puja Gurudev used to worry, where will the funds for the project come? Puja Gurudev used to say, if our intentions are noble, then the Lord will fund those projects. And never once has a project by Swami Chinmayananda stopped because of the lack of funds. So when the convictions are noble, then Bhagavan himself supports and sees that happen. So the second quality is the quality of conviction. So what are the convictions that we should have? Where should those convictions spring from? So they should spring from two places. One place is called culture. And that culture that Puja Gurudev taught us is the culture of our Upanishads. Is the culture of the Vedas, what our rishis taught to us. Greater the thinking, higher are the values that it upholds. And in fact, our rishis in their state of meditation were connected to the highest and the greatest. And it is in their meditative heights that they gave us the ideals that we should live by. Those ideals, those practices, those traditions, those customs became our culture. So it is by holding on to that culture that our vision also will be cultured. Cultured in other terms is called a refined. We are all born with a natural ability to speak. But refinement in speech will come only when our ideals are noble. If our ideals are low, if our thought is low, then instead of refinement, our speech would become unrefined, would become polluted, would become dirty. So therefore, Puja Gurudev says, the Upanishadic culture is the culture of a society, of a country. The training given to the citizens of Bharat to live this Sanatana Dharma is called Hinduism. So where do I look out for the ideals? You don't have to look out anywhere. Look at Sanatana Dharma. Look at Hinduism. And the Hinduism that we practice gives us the great ideals that we have to live by. And the essence of that culture, of our great culture, is dharma. Dharma to live by truth. Dharma to live by our great ideals. Dharma to live true to our values. That is called dharma. So that is one. And second, great ideals are given to us. So one thing where we can draw our inspiration from is the Upanishadic culture. Where else can I draw my inspiration from for a great ideal? That is the idea of nationalistic spirit. I had mentioned smaller, narrower the vision, smaller are our goals. More egoistic and narrow-minded we are. But when we expand our vision to even the level of our country, our nation, what our nation has stood for. In our pledge, we say, India is my country. Just as we say, she is my mother. I cannot bear to see my mother suffer. I cannot bear to see my mother struggle. I cannot see my mother in poverty. So too, I love my country and I cannot see my country suffering. If this is the feeling we have for the country, if this is our nationalistic spirit, then the nobility of thought will expand us to think of the entire nation. The nation are its people themselves. And therefore, our vision will expand to the entire nation, to all the people of this nation. In fact, Subramanya Bharatiyar says, let this civilization perish even if one person goes hungry. This is what are the words of Subramanya Bharatiyar. He says, even if one person goes hungry, let this civilization perish. Everybody, all of us together, this is a vision which comes from the spirit of nationalism. So someone said, I'm not a North Indian, I'm not a South Indian, I'm not an East Indian, I'm not a West Indian. Then who are you? He said, I'm an Indian from the South. I'm an Indian from the North. I'm an Indian from the West. I'm an Indian from the East. Look at the change of vision. We are all one. I'm not a Tamilian, I'm not a Maharashtrian, I'm not a Punjabi, I am an Indian. And in this oneness, we can grow together. And this is the second inspiration by which we can grow in our great noble ideals. The third, so how do we get these ideals? The third factor that we are to draw it from is through great inspiration. So the third one is living the vision of the visionary through inspiration. Gurudev says, one single ideal can transform a listless soul into a towering leader of men. One ideal we take, everything will come to us. Somebody takes truth and one value of practice of truth, all other values will follow. So to take one ideal and that one ideal, if we are inspired by, everything else will come to us. And therefore, to fix a great goal inspired by our nation, inspired by our culture, to fix one goal. For some of us, it could be well-being, financial well-being of others. For some others, it would be education of people. For some others, it could be to alleviate hunger of people. Anything. But if one ideal we chose, probably it would be to develop entrepreneurship of our people. Or it could be the cultural upliftment of the youth. One ideal if we choose, then that ideal can transform us who don't have a goal into a great towering man. Somebody, Swami Tejo Mahindi used to mention this joke. He used to say a person went to a particular village and asked, are great people born here? The people of the village joked and replied to him, no, only babies are born here. That's true. In our country, great people are not just born, great people are made. So when that vision sparks in the mind of people, then they become great. So that is the ideal that we surrender to and we live by. So once the inspiration has kicked in and once there is great focus on our ideal, that focus will manifest as great love. for what we want to achieve. So love is the consistent passion to give, not a mere persistent hope to receive. The only demand of life is the privilege to love all. If we have this kind of a love, not only for a few people, not only for people whom we are connected to, but if we can connect to a large number of people with sincere love, with sincere concern, with sincere sensitivity, then that love will manifest and help us achieve this great vision of life. So thus we say living the vision of the visionary through love. In fact, Pujya Gurudev used to say to all of us, don't be a beggar of love. Gurudev used to say, be a pillar of love. That anybody comes into your presence, they can take and they can be soaked in the immense love that you give everybody. So that is why our Chinmaya Mission pledge, which Swamiji himself wrote down, it says to give more than what we take. Look at a coconut tree, takes simple water, but what it gives is sweet water, is it not? Look at a mango tree, it takes in little minerals, takes in water, but what it gives are sweet mangoes. When we can love, then what we give will be more than what we get. But if we love only ourselves, our interest will be only in taking more and giving as little as possible. And that breaks everything in the world. What did I get becomes the question, not what I gave. In this world, it is thus those who gave the world who are remembered and celebrated, not the ones who took from the world. From this love comes empathy. Empathy, not sympathy. Empathy is to feel the pain of the other person. Empathy is to feel the pain of the other as one's own. So there is an anecdote of a great saint called Ramana Maharshi. He once suddenly jumped up and he said, stop cutting the tree. In fact, Ramana Maharshi was sitting in his room and somebody was chopping off the branches of a tree outside. Ramana Maharshi was so connected to every living being around that he could feel the pain of that tree. In fact, J. Krishnamurti, in one of his talks, he says, you people are seeing the bird through your eyes, but I feel the bird with my heart. So that's to feel someone else, to feel the need of the other, to feel the lack of things which the other does not have, and to feel that lacking is the way to open our hearts to give the other person. The one who does not feel the pain of a hungry man will never feel like giving to the other. The one who does not feel the pain and the difficulty of another who doesn't have money can never give money to others. And therefore, it's called living the vision of visionary through empathy. So thus the vision comes from inspiration. That vision comes out of great love, and that vision comes from great empathy. What are the qualities that are required in order to manifest the vision? So the next poster is about that. A visionary is not burdened by the weight of the vision they have to manifest. In fact, their programs are big and great. When Swami Chinmayanji came down from the Himalayas, he came to Pune first to give his talks. So when Swamiji came down to Pune, he had one trunk box. That's all. Probably 2 or 3 sets of clothes in it, 2 or 3 books inside, and the trunk box carried the words divine mission. So people met Gurudev and asked him, uh, what do you want to do? Gurudev said, I want to change the world. Oh, you want to change the world? Okay. How much money do you have if you want to change the world? So Gurudev said, 25 paise I've got. That's all he had in his pocket at that time. Okay, fine. If you have only so much money, how many people do you have with you? Gurudev said 4 people. But then if you have only 4 people and then if you have only 25 paise, how will you change the world? Gurudev said, I have ancestral property. He said, Acha, you got ancestral property. What is your ancestral property? Gurudev said, 2.5 inch tongue have got. And with this 2.5 inch tongue, I will change the world. And didn't he do it? Right? Today Chinmaya mission, which is his creation, serves the world, lots of people in the world every day through spiritual service, through social service, through educational service, through cultural upliftment, what not. And that was by this one person's optimism. He says, my goal is noble, and Gurudev never, ever saw anything with pessimism. In fact, Gurudev ran a mission which only took volunteers, is it not? So Gurudev did not have the privilege to interview people, to take people based on their credentials. Whoever came to Gurudev, they were touched by his efficiency. They were touched by his inspiration, and what came out from those people was unbelievable to themselves. So it's a very beautiful quote which Rajeshwari Didi has told me. And the quote goes like this: Gurudev does not ask for your ability. He asks for your availability. If only we are available to him, he makes us able. He sees that our abilities manifest. And we have seen that in countless people who have been part of our Chinmaya mission. Think about it. When we are touched by a great vision from ordinary people, great people are born. Think of who Chandragupta Maurya was. A little boy born to some farmer in a village. And once touched by Chanakya, he became the greatest emperor who defeated all the vassals of Alexander and got back all the territories which Alexander annexed and brought it back as Bharat. An ordinary man touched by a great vision can achieve such greatness. In the Bible. So thus optimism is the quality by which we can achieve greatness. With optimism, the next quality that we develop is called creativity. Modern problems cannot be solved with old solutions. Old problems can be solved with old solutions. Modern challenges need modern solutions. And for that, what we need is creativity. And Pujya Gurudev was creative. Of course, Gurudev taught the Bhagavad Gita, but Gurudev taught the Bhagavad Gita differently to small children. The wealth of stories, moral stories that we have was what Gurudev shared with small children. Gurudev started separate classes for the youth and presented the ideals of Bhagavad Gita to the youth in a different way. And Gurudev inspired them, inspired leadership in them, inspired dynamism in them, inspired discipline in them, inspired confidence in them through giving them great projects, in giving them opportunities for great things. In fact, once it happened that Chinmay Yogendra Chennai reported to Pujya Gurudev, saying, Swamiji, we went for a cycle rally. So Gurudev asked, how far? Where did you go? So they said, Gurudev, we went from the city to a place called Tamare 35 kilometers away. So Gurudev called the youngsters close by and said, hey, listen, don't say this loudly. Why? Because the milkman goes every day and comes back this distance. Don't call it a cycle rally. And Gurudev gave them 10,000 rupees and told these youngsters, you go and ride the Himalayas. And you know, even a bike rally can open up a personality so much. Roads unknown, weather unknown, where to go and stay unknown, condition of the bike, sometimes it may fail midway. You don't know where you can go and repair your bike. A bike rally can teach us how to face the uncertainties of life. It can build in us the confidence to adapt and to readapt and rethink and achieve what we want to achieve. So Pujya Gurudev came up with theatre as a way of bringing culture back to our country. Gurudev brought, in fact, in a time when even television was not popular in the 1970s, Gurudev made a movie to teach Vedanta to people. He brought in publications, so many new ideas. When the scriptures were taught only as a lecture method, Gurudev brought presentations. He made charts. He would actually have a board on the stage. He would write on the board like a professor and he would take lectures. He adapted any method that was available. And today, if Pujya Gurudev would have been present in person, he would surely have been an Instagram craze. Because he knew any method that can be adopted in order to reach the people, he would reach it. And thus, in order to achieve the vision, creativity is required. And the last one that we require here is dynamic action. करेंगे, हो जाएगा, कोई तो कर जाएगा, somebody will do it. That is not what great people are made of. Great people are dynamic and they are action oriented. In fact, Pujya Gurudev had an urgency about the work that he did. So somebody would go and present to him a small project, but in the discussion of 10 minutes, the project would grow 100-fold. That's how Gurudev saw it. Just imagine one person started one school with 6 classrooms in 1965. For one person to run one education institution becomes life's job. But here is a person who created 85 institutions. Today we are more than 100 institutions in his lifetime and managed the whole thing. dynamic action. In fact, there was one particular incident. So this was somewhere in Bali. So Gurudev had gone to Bali or some place there, and knowing that this is a Hindu missionary who has come, may not be Bali, but some place there, the government restricted him from giving public discourse on Bhagavad Gita. He said, you can't have the discourse, but this happened after Swamiji reached. And then Swamiji mentioned to a few people who were there with him, after 40 years, my first break. Just imagine, 40 years. This person has not taken a break one day. In fact, there are so many stories of Puja Gurudev in somewhere abroad. I don't remember the place. Gurudev's yajna was organized. The stage, there was a spark, fire spark, and the stage went on fire. Gurudev did not stop. He got down from that place, sat in a place little far away, and he just spoke. Sometimes Gurudev has sat on street corners and he would give talks. And please remember, his talks were not attended by a handful of people. If you see the photographs, you will know in a street corner, Gurudev is talking, and 300, 400 people are sitting there and listening to him. Nothing would be an obstacle for Gurudev's work. So there's dynamic action. In fact, Gurudev used to give the example of Ganga. And Gurudev used to say, look at the Ganga and learn from her. She starts in the Himalayas and she goes right to the Bay of Bengal. You think she doesn't have obstacles? So when there are small pebbles, she just skips them and then keeps moving forward. But when there are big boulders, she takes a leap and leaps across those boulders and she keeps going. But in some places, there are peaks, unsurmountable even by the Ganga. But she does not stop, she does not return. She keeps going sideways, sideways, sideways until the peak is over. And again she takes a turn there and continues the journey. Never once has Ganga stopped looking at the obstacles. She is a dynamic river. So to let your enthusiasm flow, this is what Puja Gurudev always used to say. Never once did Gurudev stop fearing obstacles, or Gurudev never stopped facing obstacles. So the dynamic action, when we work, then things are achieved. Ultimately, all that is done for a great vision is done through great devotion. Devotion means surrendering to a great ideal, to a great power. And how does this power to do what we want to do manifest? That manifests through prayer. So Gurudev says, prayer is the only resort to the individual who has fully realized the emptiness of his hollow vanities in the presence of the mighty total, supremely divine. Arjuna realized his emptiness when he saw that it was really Bhagavan Krishna who was doing everything in the Mahabharata. In the Vishwarupa Darshana that Arjuna sees, he sees the past, he even sees the future. Shri Krishna says, hey Arjuna, what needs to be done, I have already done. So you be just an instrument for the manifestation of my work. Nimittamatram Bhavasabhyasachin was what Shri Krishna told Arjuna. So too, in the manifestation of the great vision, let us not ever imagine that we are the ones who are doing it. We are but the instruments of the great vision to manifest. So let us not think that we are the Krishnas there. In fact, we are the flute that Bhagavan uses to bring his amazing music to the entire world. So that's in prayer and devotion, we will have this humility and let that totality manifest. How do we make the whole thing happen? As I said in the beginning, our vision can be lit up when we are in touch with great vision. The Bhagavad Gita is a great book of inspiration and great vision for all of us. In fact, Pujya Gurudev said, read 2 stanzas of the Bhagavad Gita 3 times a day for 3 months. If symptoms persist, repeat the dose. Symptoms of fear, symptoms of narrow thinking, symptoms of jealousy, symptoms of anger. If they persist, continue reading and you will be fine. Pujya Gurudev gave his entire life for spreading the knowledge of this great Bhagavad Gita to all of us. Once Pujya Gurudev, he had bypass surgery. So after the bypass surgery, when he was leaving the hospital, Gurudev gifted the Bhagavad Gita to the surgeons. And he told the surgeons, thank you very much. You saved my life. And he said, this Bhagavad Gita will save yours. Here, take it. The Bhagavad Gita has such amazing power to transform our lives and make us great. And the Gurudev's great message is read the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Gurudev's every word was the reflection of the lessons of the Bhagavad Gita. So thus reading any book by Pujya Gurudev is to read the message of the Bhagavad Gita itself. So thus, as a practice, let us take up reading this Bhagavad Gita and reading the message of Pujya Gurudev that we have. So this is the vision of the visionary that Pujya Gurudev inspired all of us into, and this is what we thought we should present to all of you. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
You all will agree with me. Such an inspiring talk just in 50 minutes. But imagine the students will be living this message throughout the year. We will be taking up every month this message. We'll be sharing it in the assembly with the students, and children will be living these messages throughout each of the month, throughout the year. So what a transformation can happen if children start living this message. Thank you so much, Swamiji. Thank you so much for guiding us so beautifully with enough doors, with knowledge, with everything. Thank you again, once again. Anyone wishes to share your feedback, you can unmute and just share it. Anyone can unmute and just share. What is your takeaway? What you liked? Anything. Come on, someone. Kailash, unmute and speak. Unmute. You have not unmuted. Tilly unmutes. Anyone else wishes to share?
Hello, yes, Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir. Hari Om.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, it was superb to connect with Swamiji and you as well, and to become the wonderful audience here. We have learned that the vision, what the theme you have for the whole year for the kids, and I was actually seeing that me as a student here,
Yeah.
and the wonderful the theme you have for this year, and definitely the children will learn in the campus so much every month, and we can feel that. So
Thank you
thank you
so
very
much.
much to have the session. Yeah.
Thank you so much. As Swamiji mentioned, our Swami Swarupanandaji gives us every year one theme, and the school, every activity revolves around that theme throughout the year. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
My
Anyone
pleasure.
else? Yeah.
Ma'am, it was was really nice. The quotes and everything, and the stories which are revolving around that of Swami Chinmayanand were really inspiring. And likewise, you had said that the children will also go through these workshops if these are conducted, and these spiritual talks on based on these themes would be really good. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to read some more anecdotes of Gurudev, there's a book called Every Breath a Teaching. It has many, many anecdotes which are absolutely inspiring. You can purchase this book online also from Chinmaya Mission website, or you can go to any Chinmaya Mission center and buy it. It's called Every Breath a Teaching. So every breath of Gurudev was beautiful, teaching messages that we get. So you can get into that book. Yes. Anyone else? Yeah.
Earlier, the host been enabled for unmuting. But yes, I think as parents, we are all looking forward to learn from our children. Of course, many of us have spent time with Gurudev, and it will be very interesting to know how they're going to express this entire thing. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Kailash. Yes, Santosh ji, Dr. Santosh, someone wanted to speak?
Yes, Hari Om, ma'am.
Yes, Hari Om.
So first of all, gratitude is the willingness that we express the appreciation for whatever we have. And we are really grateful to CRS that you are extending such good values to our children. So hats off to the education that is passed on to the students. And I personally feel these moral values, they shape the students' life, the attitude, and whatever ideas they have for the coming life, coming future. And obviously, as Swamiji is there, you all are there in the CRS campus, you are inculcating such good values in the students. I'm sure they are going to take the CRS, make CRS the family proud. And wherever they go, these values will be there with them forever. So I'm sure at this tender age, they may not be able to imbibe everything that you are teaching, but at some corner of their heart, unconsciously it is there, and as they grow up they are going to surely benefit with all the values that you are teaching. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you, all of you. I'm not able to post a message for all of us in the group, so I'll just mention 3 books. Swamiji has mentioned these books. One is called He Did It. He did it. So he did so much. Let's take initiative by reading it. So he did it. Let's read it. So that's one book. He did it. Second, as I said, At Every Breath a Teaching. And third is As I Think. There are small articles in As I Think, which are absolutely inspiring. So these are the 3 beautiful books that anyone can buy and can read. Thank you, all of you. Let's conclude. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you once again for joining all of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night, all of you.
Hari Om,
Good night.
ma'am.
Hari Om.
Thanks, ma'am.
Hari Om.
Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Hari Om.